Am I live? I don't know why. Why won't they let me go the other way here? I want to. Oh, I see. I see. Why can't I? Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. Why can't I? Why is it forcing me to shoot this way? Very unusual. I may end up stopping this microphone. There you go. Welcome to live chat. I'm making a mistake. There's two people on. Hello, two people. I don't. Why? Why is it forcing me? Fuji X Pro 4. I would love to have the X Pro 4 with me. And also let me know, is my lavalier working? Like, is it louder when I do this, or is it not louder? Testing, testing. I'm just wondering why YouTube Live doesn't allow me to shoot in horizontal like landscape orientation. Why is it forcing me to shoot vertical? I don't like that. Stop playing with me, Fuji. I do have a new Fuji lens. I have the new six. It's not that new, I guess. I don't get these things early anymore. 16 to 55 f2 RLMWR Mark II. It's a fun lens to shoot with, but it's definitely not a lens that I personally would use that often. But I have it, and I'm enjoying my time with it. Hey, Robert Daniels, thanks for joining. There's 5 people joining now. Let me know, is the audio good? And also, why can't I? Why can't as soon as I try to go this way, it says orientation is locked. Rotate the device back. Maybe can I go this way here? No, it does not like me trying to go the other way. It's trying to force like a vertical, sort of, I don't know, TikTok, Instagram live kind of thing. I don't like this orientation. Why force me to shoot this way? Why? Why YouTube? I want to go the other way. I don't want to do live anymore on my iPhone, at least, anyways. Why is the orientation locked? Robert Daniels, thanks for joining, and 4 other people. I'm here at Maxims Baking Restaurant here in Chinatown, Vancouver. I have my milk tea, my second cup of milk tea, and I just shot my Chinatown Confessions for maybe sometime next week. I don't even know if this is goofy or not, me holding this or not, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about if you had any questions, basically, because I get a lot of questions in my Chinatown Confessions video, but because it's not live, I could only answer it either in the comments, and then I get the same questions asked over and over again. Where if it's live, I can just answer in real time. But I have 7 people joining now. Thank you for joining here. Those of you are wondering, why am I vertical? Why is the video vertical? Because YouTube won't let me go the other way, and I don't even know if this lavalier microphone, I mean this little wireless microphone system, is working or not. If it is, maybe I'm a little bit too loud. I can back off a little bit. It's kind of noisy here in Maxim. I'm gonna turn the camera around here, but I'm in the back booth, and it's not too busy today. I thought it would be a lot busier, but not too busy. Oftentimes, there's like an older gentleman sitting over there that I like to take photos of him, but he's probably already come and gone. And so let's just turn this back around again. Back booth, if you're around, come and join me. I don't even know if I'm going to keep this video. I don't see any questions coming in either, so maybe I will. Oh, look, there's a little beauty enhance button. Let me just try that. Retouch on. What is it doing? Is it making my skin smooth? Ooh, I don't like that. That looks weird. I'm going to turn that off. There you go. This looks more normal. And thank you for the 1 thumbs up, whoever that is. Have you used the ZF? No. I reached out to Nikon many, many years ago, and they never get back to me. So as I mentioned in some other my other videos, if like some people are saying like, Taka, you only do Leica reviews. It's because it seems like only Leica the one that wants to work with me. They're the ones that send me the gear. They're the sound is fine. Nice to join you from Ottawa. Hey, how's it going, Daniel? Thank you so much for joining. Um, and also, if any of you guys know, does everyone that goes on YouTube Live, are they all in vertical? I don't like this look. I want to go like, because if I save this and then post it on my YouTube channel, I don't like this look. It just has a cheaper production value look to it, doesn't it? Like, it feels like a disposable video versus if I went landscape, even though it's going to be, I think it's locked in at like 1080 or 720, because I've done YouTube Live from here before, but it's never forced me to shoot vertical. So maybe I'm doing something wrong here. Sound is fine. Okay, Have you used ZF? Mac. So if Nikon reaches out, I don't waste time now, that much time at least, reaching out to manufacturers. There is one manufacturer I'm reaching out to. I can reach out to them at an executive level, which is great because I have a friend, a colleague that's very close to Panasonic. He do a lot of marketing for them. He's like, oh, I can talk to the global, the VP global marketing person to try to get you to get some Panasonic gear. That's great because it'll work with the Almon Alliance. With Fujifilm, I get basically like a 2-3 week limit on gear reviews, and I got to ship it back right away. I've asked multiple times for long-term reviews. Like for instance, I would love to have a long-term on any of the GFX cameras. They did it with the GFX 50S, and I was able to get awesome photos with it. They let me leave the country with it. I went to Hong Kong, I think, twice, and Thailand with the GFX 50S. Now they don't let me leave the country with it. And so before I went to Europe, I asked, I said, hey, the GFX 100S Mark II came out. They said, Taki, would like to review it? I said, yes, but I'm leaving the country for 3 weeks. And they said, well, we can only loan you for 2 weeks. And then I said, and, I'm in Europe. And they said, no, you can't leave the country with it. So they won't loan me gear on long term, and they won't loan me gear to leave the country. Where with Leica, they let me do whatever I want with the gear. They said sure, and so I just returned the M11P. I had that camera for 6 months. I still have the Deluxe 8. In the end, I actually ended up buying it, so it's mine now. But it's I've had that for 6 months, and and through Camera West that is also Leica for San Francisco. They loan me gear for long term. So the SL2 was theirs. I had this on long term loan, the M10R. I ended up just buying it, and that's great. So I can get Leica gear long term, so I can do these long term reviews of them. Fujifilm, it's too short term. I can only do like what other YouTubers do, is like these quick and dirty videos, and that's fine. But I also write articles for Fuji Love, so I need more time with the gear. I need to do product pictures. I need to do like my first look, first impressions, and then my long term review. I need lots of great photos, and I just can't fit that all within the time frame that they give it to me for. And so there are very little deep reviews that I've been doing recently because of that time frame, other than the gear that I already personally own. And so I think it's really a loss for them that they would not allow someone like me who like I don't review everything that comes my way. And for a lot of the other YouTube reviewers, they don't want it for that long because they're reviewing a new camera every week. Well, I typically review Fujifilm and Leica and other manufacturers. And when I get the gear, I try to do like a really good review. Like I spend a month. I want to spend at least a month with the camera. If I can have it for 2 months, even better. And I tell them, please don't rush me. Let me come out with the content when I come out with the content. And so because of that, well, Fujifilm will just say no and say no. We want it back in 2 weeks or 3 weeks because the next reviewer wants it, and that's fair. But because I write for Fuji Love magazine and because I do mostly Fujifilm and Leica content, I would say I should be put, I won't say a higher status, but a higher priority than a reviewer that, one camera comes in, goes out, and then the next one comes in and goes out. And so I'm Fuji centric, I am Leica centric. I think it would be fair that I keep it a little bit longer, even if it means they get it first and let them do their thing. And then a month later, they say, okay, all right, all the major YouTube reviewers have reviewed it. Taka, here's whatever, X on 106. You can have it for the next 2-3 months. Go for it. Do your in depth review. I would love to do that, but I've been getting no's from Fujifilm. So that's kind of my situation with review gear. Um, you would love the ZF with the Voigtlander Z. Oh, the 41 too. That sounds awesome. I would love to shoot the 41 too. Yeah, so let's. And also Voigtlander. I did reach out to Voigtlander. It went right to the top. Someone from Voigtlander Germany reached out and said, Taki, we love your reviews. We can send you some lenses. And I said, oh, maybe you're not aware, but I'm not stationed in Europe because they saw so many videos in Europe, and they said, "Oh, well, let me refer you to Voigtlander USA," and they just said, "No, we don't ship to Canada, like for review gear." And they said, "Talk to whoever distributes it. I don't know who distributes Voigtlander in Canada," and then they weren't interested in sending me gear. And then I talked to that person in Voigtlander Europe. I think it was Voigtlander Germany. She emailed head office in Tokyo and said, "Hey, there's a reviewer in Canada. and he would like to review your lenses. Is there some way? And Voigtlander Japan said, or like the because Voigtlander is a German brand, but they're all being made in Japan by Cosina, I think. I think it's Cosina, Kyocera, Cosina. I think it's all the same company, and they just said refer to the USA, Voigtland USA, and they're not interested in sending to me. So I can't afford to buy the gear every time I review it, and then try to have to sell it again. I have kind of a rule from the very start that from the very beginning, even when I was tiny, I basically said I will not regularly review gear with manufacturers that do not send gear to me directly because I want to have some input in the development of the product. So I get to talk directly to Fujifilm Canada as well as Fujifilm Corporate. I know the people, the marketing people, and the people in development in Tokyo. So when I review, I know that they watch my reviews. I know they read my articles at Fujifilm, and I can give them input. And when I go to these X summits, I get to go, talk face to face with Yuji Igarashi and say, "Hey, Yuji, thank you so much for this camera. I love everything. Can you think about changing this?" And I know that I'm not the only one doing it, but when you see the change, you're like, that's great, I had some input. And same with Leica. I know the marketing team, I know the design team, I know the people in engineering, I know the people at the factory. When I visit them, they know who I am, and I can offer input. And that's the kind of relationship I want to have with the manufacturer. So that's why I can go through retailers and ask, B&H, because I'm an affiliate of B&H, or Camera West, and say, hey, can you send me the gear? But again, unless I have a relationship, a regular relationship direct with the manufacturers, I'm not really interested in reviewing it. And that's kind of a weird kind of stand to take as a small YouTuber, but that's just my thoughts about reviewing gear. I can definitely review any Nikon, Canon, Sony. I have tons of friends in the photo industry that are retailers, that are distributors. But if Nikon is not interested in my opinion, then I'm not really interested in reviewing their products. And so that's kind of the stand I have. Good day from Australia. How's it going? Click, click, click. Like your latest show format. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if I'm going to keep this video, guys. There's 8 of you watching, or actually, there's 8 thumbs up, 16 watching. But I I don't like this vertical format. I wish it would let me, go this way. But it says orientation is locked. Rotate device back. I don't like vertical video. It just kind of cheapens the video. If I'm going to leave it long term on YouTube, I want it horizontal. So the whole point of this was I wanted to do Chinatown Confessions live. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way. Maybe I need to come here either with my iPad, and maybe there's an OBS for iPad, or come here with my laptop and do a live setup. I'm in the back booth. Those of you that are just joining me, I'm in the back booth of Maxims Baking Restaurant here, and they typically give me the back booth as I use it like an office here. Maybe I'll even show you. I just have all my gear. I'm all spread out. Here's the Wotancraft New Heritage Salt and Pepper backpack, and I have my gear just kind of spread out. Here's my DJI Osmo Pocket 3, M10R milk tea. So let's turn this back here. And so I was hoping to shoot like a proper live chant on confessions, but this is kind of gross. I don't like vertical. I know it's just aesthetic. Hey David, how's it going? Thank you coming in live from the UK. What time is it in the UK? Should have had my GMT watch on me, but it's probably, what time is it now? Like 6 or 7 p.m. How was your 2024? Yeah, 2024. It's been a crazy year. And those of you know, I've just posted this morning my 17th video in a row, 17 YouTube videos in a row. And so it's been a crazy, crazy year. Hey, Jem, how's it going? Louise, thanks for joining, Louise. 9 p.m. Okay, that's not too bad. 9 p.m. And someone had said, love the bag reviews of what's in my bag. Yeah, I mean, I would love to. Again, I don't like this vertical video. It's hard to do what's in my bag. I would love to do one, but this is just, isn't this weird? It feels tight. I will show you one thing that's in this bag, because Fujifilm did send me something. I used the Peak Design um, So it's like, what's in my bag? In my bag. So in the Wotencraft, there's another bag. It's a 7 liter Peak Design sling, which I actually really like. It's basically a big sack. And so, what do I have in here? See how this vertical video is not working very well? Bada, bada bing, bada bing. It's the new 500 millimeter f 5.6. Optically, it's identical to the GFX, so it seems like, well, that's a waste of size and weight. If this works on a GFX, then can't you just make it half the size? I think it's development cost and time and energy. I mean, I'd rather this than not have this, right? So I think, well, I mean, if they put an adapter, you could just if the yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm indifferent to this lens because this is not a lens I would typically use. 500 millimeter is a really. I was kind of meditating on what I can talk about the 500 mil. It's you got to look way out. You're looking out for miles of what you're trying to photograph because if you see something's like, oh, that's cool, 500 millimeter is way too close unless you're doing like really tight crop type photography, which I don't do. I'm not Saw lighter. I'm not great at compressed street photos. And even Saul probably wouldn't shoot with the 750 mil equivalent lens for street photography. Even for Saul, that's a little bit too much. I think maybe 135 is probably the most compressed images he took. But I have this on review from Fujifilm, as well as the new 16 to 55 f2.8 RLMWR Mark II on the XH2, which I was actually there for the launch in New York City, the Fujikina 2022 in New York. And cool camera, not for me. That 16 to 55 at 2.8. I don't do events. I don't do weddings anymore. I used to do those things decades ago, but don't do it anymore. But I'll still review it because I know there's people that want me to review it. So I'll review it. And then even the 500 mil, it's a challenge. So when they ask me, do I want to review? I'm like, I don't know. But in the end, I said, sure, why not? It's the holidays. I have time. Well, I don't really have time. I think I have time. So let's just see. I just picked up a bargain from Vinted, Leica CL. Oh, I know the CL and the 40M Roker. There you go. Look at that 40M Roker right here. The 40M Roker on its own is worth 500. And so if you got the CL and the 40 work the M Roker, then just be careful with the CL, the Leica CL, like the M5. It has the swing arm metering, so you get really nice spot metering. So that's great. But some lenses, like the collapsible 50 Elmar M, you shouldn't put that on there because it could hit that swing arm, and also the original 28 millimeter Elmarit V1. It has a really long rear flange. The rear element goes deep into the body. So there's certain lenses you can't use on the CL, the Leica CL, and so just be aware of that. But congrats, $500 for. I mean, that's basically like together. I think most people would give you a deal and say like, look, the CL is worth say 600, the 40 Emerald Core is worth 500, so that's 1100 individually. But hey, if I put it together, I'll sell it you for 900. And I think 900 is an okay deal. 800 is a pretty darn good deal. 750 is like that's a great deal, but $500 for both, man alive, that's a sweet deal. Just see here, rumored Fuji post shoot medium format camera. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I've been asking Fujifilm to make basically like a GA645 or GA645ZI that was a medium format point and shoot basically back in the film era, as well as the Texas Leica, but they made a whole range of all-in-one point and shoot medium format cameras since like the late 60s, early 70s. Like Fujifilm was known for medium format point and shoots. That's kind of what they did for 30, 40 years. And so as soon as the GFX 50S came out in 2017, the first thing I said was, Fujifilm, this is like directly to Fujifilm, you need to make a point and shoot, a digital medium format point and shoot. So I'm super excited. I know a little bit about it, but that's as far as I can say. I can't say anything more, but them making it shouldn't be a surprise. The demand would have been huge, even going back into 2017. People, anyone from Jonas Rask to myself to any of the other Fujifilm centric content creators and photographers. I don't like the term content here, but photographers, YouTubers, we've all been saying to Fujifilm, make an X100 version of a medium format camera. And now that they're so well versed in making digital medium format, because back in the film era, they were great at making medium format cameras and medium format lenses. Because those of you who know that they were making during the film era lenses for Hasselblad, because Hasselblad, they don't make their own lenses. They never have. They've always used. I think the first one was Kodak, and then they switched to Zeiss, and then to Fujifilm in the 2000s, and then now they use another Japanese manufacturer to make the lenses. They may help design the lenses, but they're not a lens manufacturer. They're a camera systems manufacturer. And so Fujifilm has always done well making medium format cameras. And so it's just a natural evolution. They can see how popular the X100 is. Well, if they come out with an X100 medium format camera, so the name should be something like GFX 100 R. Well, they wouldn't say R because there was a GFX 50R, so they would say RF or something like that. It makes complete sense, and I'm surprised they haven't come up with it because I guarantee you, like the X100, if they price it well, which is let's say around $5,000, all right, it will sell out immediately. The first batch, every pro, even Leica shooters, will buy the GFX 100 RF. In fact, even if it was like say 50 or GFX 50 RF, even if they use the older sensor, guarantee you it would still sell well because even though there are 35 mil cameras that have more than 50 megapixels, the size of the pixels and the space between each pixel with that 50 megapixel sensor will still be fantastic. It'll be still great, and so I'm super excited for it. I think it'll do really, really well, and it will compete kind of with the Hasselblad X1 and the X2D series because the design of the Hasselblad medium format definitely looks way better than the Fujifilm GFX series cameras. It has that European, that Swedish design, much like that Northern European, kind of like the German kind of design aesthetic, the kind of industrial design look. Fujifilm, Japanese need a little bit help with that kind of design aesthetic, just like the Leica here, just a well designed. This is a 1954 design, and then 70 years later, it still has a really nice look to it. And Hasselblad has that same kind of that design philosophy or the ethos. They do a really good job of design. Fujifilm, they did great with the X100 and the X Pro, but that's because it's kind of piggybacking on Leica design, which is fine, right? We can all do kind of homages to the brands that we respect and we love, but the X100 medium format is going to do so well, 100%. It's going to really shift the industry, and I would have loved to have seen them do that back in 2017, but 2025. GFX 100 RF. That's my guess. But beyond that, yeah, GFX RF is coming. Yeah, it's definitely coming. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this 24 view. Hey, Ken, how's it going, Ken? Nikon F's had that great design. Yeah, Nikon. I mean, Japanese design language when it comes to SLRs because if they can really push the design envelope with SLRs, rangefinders, the Germans and the Europeans did a great job. When the SLRs came out, the Nikon, the original F, but to me, the pinnacle of the Nikon film era F design was probably the F3. And with Canon, it was the F1. With Minolta, I mean, I love the SRTs. I love the XDs. The X700 was like a mass market kind of a camera, but the last Maxim 9, beautiful. And the last era Nikon Fs were also fantastic cameras. Canon, after the T90, those of you that know Canon, they went with that smooth top, and that's where the original EOS 1 got that smooth, rounded top look. Not a fan of it. They're still doing it with their R series. It's functional, it's aerodynamic, I guess, but I don't like it from a design perspective. It's kind of ugly. I like the square, blocky shapes in camera designs, personally. All right, Fuji 10 to 24. What are your favorites? Yes, I mentioned that in my 16 to 55 video. I would never buy this lens because in these focal lengths, I'd rather just have a prime. The 10 to 24 is great because it's ultra wide. I can use it as a vlogging lens, and yeah, I love the 1024. It is definitely, it is still my favorite Fujifilm zoom lens for my style of photography, because it goes like 10 to 24, so that's like a 15 to 36 mil. It's a great travel zoom lens. If I had to take a Fujifilm X series body and I was going like around the world, the 10 to 24 and then the 35-1.4 is all I need. I can pretty much get everything that I want because I don't really shoot telephoto. And then with the 10-24, I get all the ultra wide prime focal length. I mean, it's slow at f4, but again, I'm traveling and I can only take two lenses. So those are the two, 10 to 24 and the 35. That's all I need. And the last time I was in Europe, in Asia, just before the pandemic, when I was in Hong Kong and then I was in Japan, that's all I brought with me: 10 to 24, X Pro 3, and then the 35 f2. So that's what I would travel with. So yeah, I really think that's great. Ken Braun never made cameras. Yeah, it would have been cool. Wouldn't that have been cool for Braun to have designed a cam? At least if they didn't build their own camera to help design. In fact, they could still do it, right? They can, those of you that don't know Braun, they really pushed the envelope of design. The what's his name now? Dieter Rams. He's a famous designer. Everyone from Tinker Hatfield, who designed the original. Well, he's a shoe designer, right, for Nike, but he was just a designer and he got into shoes later. And then other ones like what's his name? The guy from Johnny Ive. They look up to Dieter Rams as basically like the modern hero of design. So I would have loved to have seen a Dieter Rams design camera. He would have done a way better job than Johnny Ive. I mean, the Johnny Ive Leica cameras, they're okay. Dieter Rams, he would kill it. He would make. I don't even know if Dieter Rams is even alive. I'm sure he's still alive. Is he not? Or maybe he's not. Hey, Tungsten Overguard, how's it going? Hey, hi, Elvis. Elvis, I would check the Sigma 10 to 18. I have the 10 to 18. I also like the 10 to 18 as well. I do like it, but stopping at 18 is a little bit short of what I would want. 10 to 24 is still a better range, although with the 10 to 18 it's f2.8. Since I've got it, I haven't traveled much, so I haven't had time to really test that against a 10 to 24. So that's actually a good one. The thing I like about the 10 to 24 is also it has OIS, where the 10 to 18 does not have OIS. Although, and also the 10 to 18 is maybe a little bit weather sealed. The 10 to 24, the new one, is weather sealed, and it has aperture, a ring where the Sigma still don't. I would love for Tamron and Sigma to be like Viltrox and make cameras with aperture rings, make them Fuji centric, because the 10 to 20, like most of the Sigma and the Tamron lenses that will fit on X mount were originally E mount, so they're mostly buttons and dial control cameras. But Fujifilm shooters love the aperture ring, and so that's the one thing that's missing from all the Sigma and Tamron lenses for the X mount, is that they were kind of Sony centric mount, E mount centric, and so they didn't have that aperture ring. I want that aperture ring, super important to me. So um, and yes, King Elvis. Yes, OAS can make up for the F4. It can, except for action. So if someone's moving across your frame, that one stop is useful. But then that just means I'm one stop higher ISO, and I don't mind the noise. It's all right. Dealing with image sensor noise with digital is pretty darn easy now, especially with Lightroom to remove that noise. It's not that difficult. So I'm okay with F4, but I will do a long term review. Guys, I've been talking for almost 30 minutes. So I think I will stop. Thank you so much for joining. 34 of you. Let me know if you want me to do this more often. This is live from Maxims Bakery and Restaurant here in Chinatown, Vancouver. Chinatown Confessions live. I guess I'll keep this video. I don't like the vertical format. I'll figure out a way of doing this horizontally, like landscape. But until then, I'm going to leave this for now. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining. Continue commenting. Let me know what you think. And let's keep on growing this channel. I want to be able to do more of these, all right? So we'll talk to you soon, and happy shooting. Let's end off with the Fujifilm here. And click, click, click. Peace. How do I stop this, though? How do I stop this? Do I just hit the X at the top here? Maybe. Maybe I just hit the X.